Hello, everybody.
What's
it's
up?
Eduardo Valentine and Scott DiGregorio again. So today we're in.
Can we talk about the fact that we're back in Fort Myers?
We're back in Fort Myers. That's what I was gonna say. We're back in Fort Myers today, peeps. So so obviously next time it's gonna be Naples.
Yes.
I can't do this.
But 2 Fridays in a row is a blessing, man.
Fridays in a row, it's the 2 prizes you get for the year. So let me fix this thing, man. All right. Sorry.
Most people set these cameras up before the recording starts.
Whatever. So okay, so there's a couple things that we that I want to talk about. We have so I had this recurring theme during the week, and the recurring theme was I got declined. Is there anything you can do? Does that mean that I got declined everywhere? I got a couple of realtors call me too and saying, listen, I have these deals that got declined by 3 different banks. Is there anything you can do? And first of all,
what we call save me deals.
Save me deals, right? And first of all, I'm so glad that they reached out, right? And a lot of people are people that were watching these things, and they just said, look, this guy is always like yelling at us on the video. Is there's this dude with an accent that just keeps talking about different products? So can you do something for me? And oftentimes the answer is yes.
Yeah.
No, sometimes it's no, right? Sometimes you have a problem, you have multiple issues.
Sure.
And the answer is no. But surprisingly, both of those loans were what's those scenarios that I was thrown at, where not only I wasn't only able to save them, but they were actually pretty good deals. The client was a good client. They just had maybe one of them had a problem with credit, but just a problem with credit, but good down payment, good income, everything else. And then the other person had the opposite, right? They had the down payment, they had all that, but they didn't have good income, or at least not income that they could show in their W-2s or in their tax returns. So this whole thing to say, guys, we've been talking about this for the past couple of Fridays, and we have a lot of different products right now that can help most people.
Well, look, and it's so interesting. I know we've been talking about a lot because it's such a big thing. The product development is just happening again and again.
It's happening fast. It's happening really
we
fast.
just got a huge new product suite with literally 30 new loan programs that are 30 segments of the population that we could say yes to that was no literally like last Tuesday.
Yeah.
Like was
Correct.
just no.
That's right. And I mean, we're going down to like crazy low credit scores. I mean, 500, right? Because we saw somebody, I think we both commented on that.
Yep.
We saw somebody comment on Facebook, hey, what's the minimum credit score that you guys can use? Right. And, I put 580 because I
put 500.
I was trying to it's like 500, what's up? But the truth of the matter is, that's right. I mean, depending on the down payment and depending on other things, we can do all these products. 40-year loans where you're paying interest for 10 years. There's just so many products. I think we have over 300 products right now. Yeah. So
and it's going to keep expanding. And look, the takeaway for everybody, if you've been told no or you think you would be told no if you asked, ask.
Ask again.
Ask.
Just ask. And the other thing too that I think it's so important, and I went over this with one of these clients, is understand why you get that no. I think it's so important when you go in somewhere and you apply for a loan and the person tells you, look, you don't qualify. It's important to understand why you're not qualifying. Because it could be as simple as, look, your credit score is, let's say, 580 and we require a 600. Then it's very easy because the next conversation is, hey, Scott, can I do a loan with you with a 580 credit score? And the answer is yes. Or if the answer is maybe, look, we had a foreclosure last year or we had bankruptcy or whatever, then you can start from that point. But it's important to understand why you don't qualify. And what we do with our clients, I know you do it too, is we not only tell them why they don't qualify, but we give them a path to qualify.
And that's what I was going to say. Like, one of the things that I really hang my hat on is I don't say no, I say when. Okay, because I know you told me you got a third Save Me deal that you can't help today, but you think in 30 or 45 days. Yeah. So, very often I meet with people and literally tweak a couple of things, and it's insane. I did, credit card balance, obviously a big part of credit score, second biggest factor. I had somebody pay their $300 credit card down to $50. I reran that credit within a week, and their score had jumped 60 points.
Yeah, sometimes we have people, they don't even have to pay it. They just ask for an increase in the limit.
That's an advanced tip. Pro tip right there.
Just go back and re-listen to it. But it's the same thing. So there's little changes that you can make.
Yes.
that might get you there.
Yeah, or I had one. I had one where she didn't know any better. Her taxes were messed up. She had her taxes fixed, and by messed up, she talked to her tax preparer and said, "Hey, I'm not going to. I have rental income." And the tax preparer said, "No, you don't need to worry about that."
Nice.
So I had to count the taxes and insurance. It was free and clear.
Sure.
Which killed the deal. She amended her taxes. It cost her $150. Boom, she's
Done.
closing next week. So there's so much, and I know we both do this, but there's so many people that start off no, and we mold and massage and carve and and boom, it's a yes.
And they get
and sometimes
yes.
it's 3 weeks and sometimes it's 9 months, but so what? Most people in our industry, sadly enough, either don't have the knowledge or don't take the time to mold it. So
Right.
look, just give us a call, man, if you have scenarios. And look, if you're staying where you're staying with your Lightning cool, give us a call if you're getting answers that you don't think sound right. And
Right.
happy to help, man. Just it's all good.
And look,
It's all good.
there's
Spread the love.
A bunch of times we end up telling people, look, that looks fine. That's a great idea. Keep going where you're going, and let us know how it goes.
I had somebody this past week. I had pre-qualified her. She ended up going with a builder. The builder practically forced her to use their in-house financing.
As they do.
They closed. She's super unhappy with some things that are going on now. And she came to me for a refi to drop her mortgage insurance. And she's like, this company's ripping me off. And the closing costs are absurd. And I sat him down. I'm like, okay, a couple things. First off, closing costs are right in line. They're
Right.
literally right where they should be. And secondly, you're telling me you're going to pay off the house in 5 years. Don't refi at all.
Why would you refi?
So,
Sorry.
one, I confirmed that the other, the competitor was not ripping her off. And secondly, I saved her the aggravation because if you're going to pay off a loan in 5 years,
Why
refi's just, it helps us, not them.
Right.
So, all right. So anyway, keep us in mind with
Yeah,
that
just
stuff.
an open invitation to do that.
Now, another thing I want to, ran into somebody recently, and they said that they watch our Facebook Lives. What's up? But they go, "Hey, your friend, where the hell is that accent from?" So I don't know. I thought it'd be worth you sharing with everybody.
Yeah. So, yeah, that's an interesting question. I get that. I get that quite a bit, and I think my accent is pretty straightforward. But apparently, it is
less so if you're American.
Yeah, I guess so. I guess so. But no, I'm originally from Colombia. So I'm originally from Colombia. Colombia.
Now, where in Colombia?
It's from the Atlantic coast, the North Atlantic coast. I like to say that everything that's good from Colombia comes from there. I'm sorry, except for the coffee. We don't grow coffee there. But look, it's a city called Barranquilla. I was born there. I lived quite a bit of time there. I mean, I was there until I was 5, and then we returned. And the thing with Colombia is there's a lot of different accents in Colombia. And I know that people say, yeah, no, I know there's a lot of different accents everywhere. But in Colombia, I feel, and I've lived in other countries too.
You're more of an authority than I am.
It's very, you can notice it a lot more. You go from one city like Naples to Fort Myers, and the accent can be completely different.
That's interesting.
The way you pronounce the words and everything is very different. So I'm from the city called Barranquilla, and I'm just saying that because even the people that speak Spanish, they think they can't figure out where I am because they think that all Colombians speak like the Syrian Narcos. Because of Pablo Escobar. What's up, bro? My cousins.
As a rule of thumb, we should probably keep drug lords out of these things. I mean, it's just a thought. I don't know. It's just a thought.
Yeah, Patriot Act and whatnot. But anyways, I'm originally from Colombia. Then when I was very young, I moved to France. I stayed there for quite a bit, just my formative years, like from 5 to like 10 years old or something. Then I went back to Colombia, and then we went back to France. So maybe that's why my accent is all messed up.
Interesting.
Yeah.
Interesting.
So France and Colombia back and forth, and then
what brought you to America?
Then I'm struggling in to speak English.
With your third language.
Yes.
But what brought you to America? You wanted to be a loan originator, right? As a little
of
boy in
course.
Paris,
I woke
you were
up
like,
and I said, and I said it's easier if I go do my internship in France when I'm 5.
Right,
No.
right.
Baseball, man.
Yeah.
I was an avid baseball player. I was pretty good. Like we all say, I got injured. Otherwise, I would have made it to the majors. But no, I was a pretty good baseball player.
I mean, you were legitimately drafted, and
I didn't get drafted. But when I was in Colombia, I was about 16 years old, and I was one of those top prospects in my region. They had a bunch of scouts coming out and see us. But that's when you're in Latin America, you have to sign very young, unless you're in Dominican Republic or something where they have farm systems. So when I get injured, I said, well, I'm not going to be able to play at the high level for another year. So instead, let me try to extend my shelf life, if you will.
Sure.
And I got a scholarship to play baseball, and that's how I ended up in America. And,
That's cool.
And I fell in love here, and I decided to stay.
Right. And by the way, for those of you that don't know, a man became a U.S. citizen not that long ago, man, which is really exciting.
Yeah.
Which is really, really exciting. And then, okay, so
I came here.
Professional baseball player.
Baseball scholarship.
You went to school for
biochemistry,
right,
of course.
Okay, which, by the way, is a solid, normal foundation for being a loan officer.
So, anyways, baseball player here. The whole baseball thing didn't work out for me. Once I came to the States, I got distracted. I started studying more. It was just more. Let me try to play for as long as I can, as opposed to let's make this a career. And I said, well, I'm going to be a doctor because I guess, doctors do very well.
Sure.
So I studied biochemistry, but like I said, I fell in love here. I have a 9-year-old. So by the time I graduated, she was, 4 years old or something. And I had to make a decision on going back to school for another 8 years and, struggle through school with my daughter, with my family, or try to find something else. And it was just like that, find something else. I figured I knew nothing about money. I knew nothing about how credit worked in America. I just knew that compared to other countries, credit is super important here. Here, it's not a matter of you have the cash. As a matter of fact, you need to have this credit score thing. So I thought that was very important. So I said, let me go work at a bank. And even if I'm not going to make a career out of this, at least I'm going to learn the skills that I need to know financially. Sure. And just a little background, my parents did very well for themselves. They had, my dad is a lawyer, my mom is a psychanalyst, but even though their salaries and all that were good, I now looking back, they missed that financial education. And I think that's so important. That's almost more important than how much money you make. Yeah. And as we can see, we end up giving loans to people that don't make a lot of money, and sometimes we decline people that make a lot of money. Yeah. Simply because their financials are in line with their income. Yeah. So I got into the bank, and I started to talk to the loan officers there. I saw that they did pretty good. I wanted to buy a house. I thought that tied into the American dream for me too. And I'm like, man, that's the people were so excited to buy houses a lot more than to buy stocks. Sure. So I'm like, I want to be part of this. I want to, that's cool, I want to give people the dream that I came looking for. You
came here for.
Yeah. So that's how I ended up being a loan officer, man.
That's interesting.
Yeah, it was it was a path like this.
Yeah, well, that's how most people get into mortgages.
Yeah. And dude, never looked back since. Yeah, it's been a hell of a ride.
That's cool.
How about you? You got an accent too, my
dude.
friend.
I do not have a freaking. Forget about it. I don't have an accent. So I'm from Alabama.
Yes. That makes sense. And I'm Irish.
So look, born and raised in Brooklyn, and I spent 10 years in Brooklyn, 10 years in Staten Island. My parents were going to retire. Father dreamt of moving to Naples. I was a college student at the time studying architecture, civil engineering.
That makes sense.
And I went to the local college at the time. All we had here was Edison Community College. Sure. And I went there to sign up for my advanced calculus classes and engineering classes, and they didn't offer them. And they said, look, we're building this new school called FGCU. It'll be open in a couple of years, and I'm sure they'll have the classes you need. So I was like, all right, I'll go get a job. And I went and got a job selling copy machines because that's what my mom did. And, I've been in sales for years. And one day I was walking out of a place, an electric shop in Cape Coral. The guy followed me out. And he's like, look, man, you've been knocking on our door every Friday for a long time, like a year and a half. And I'm like, cool, so you ready to buy something? And he's like, no, but I am ready to hire you, man. I'm opening up a mortgage company. Dude, nice. And he chased me and followed me and pursued me. And I closed one loan and thought, yeah, this is better. Right. And never looked back. And I just sent out a kind of video with this, but what a lot of people know about me, but a lot of people don't, is my past, man. And similar to yours, the first 10 years of my life, my parents really had a lot of money, and my grandparents came from Sicily, and they had a lot of money. My father went to school every day in a chauffeured limousine. Nice. And the problem with having money your whole life is it never occurs to you that one day you might not have money. So when I was 10 years old, my father lost his business. And bro, we plunged into poverty, man. I literally remember not being able to eat. I remember getting into fights as a kid because I was wearing hand-me-down pants that were this too short.
Right.
And I realized too, like when I was 22 or so, I think my parents came to me and they're like, "Look, man, we're on a fixed income. Rents are going up. Can you help us buy a house? We think we're going to be homeless down the road." And I was young and already in the mortgage industry, but dabbling.
Sure.
But as I got older and matured and whatnot, it really became apparent to me that there is just an abject lack of financial education out there, man. And my kids are older than yours. I got a sophomore and a senior in high school, and then a sixth grader. And man, it's sad, dude. They don't talk about anything.
They don't. I graduated in college here. Like
Right.
I went to a 4-year school, and I went to a university here where I took high level classes, and honestly, I didn't know how to write a check.
Sure.
When I graduated, like when I finished, it was sad to feel that I was an educated person, and had no clue about how credit or any of these real life important things that can make or break it since as soon as you get out work. And I mean, luckily I didn't get student loans, but man, you get out with a ignorance, and you can throw a salary at that, but with that ignorance you still can move forward.
Dude, I just sat down with a client, man. Recently divorced woman. By the way, David and Cecilia watching me. What's up?
That is true.
So anyway, she wanted to put down 20% on the house, and I explained to her the benefits of putting down 10% and then paying off a car.
Sure.
It was going to free up like over $500 a month. It's a person that doesn't make a lot of income. And I talked to her about investing the money. She was in her late 30s, mid to late 30s, and how that was going to grow and everything. And she looked at me about 20 minutes in, and she goes, "I have always wanted somebody to explain all this to me." And that has nothing to do with a mortgage. And she's closing the end of May, and actually I have an appointment with her. She's going out of town, and then she'll be back. And I have an appointment with her on June 29th to just help her set up a mutual fund account and help her get her financials in order. And I told her, I said, "Look, you're recently divorced. You have 2 babies. One of them was like 4 months old, the cutest little boy you've ever seen." And, and that's why both of us, we have a similar past in that our passion is educating people. Not just, the way I tell people, I get paid to get you a mortgage. My passion is helping people understand money.
Right.
And do 2 different things.
Yeah, and to manage this big debt.
Yeah.
This big daunting debt that you get into
for decades.
For decades, yeah.
Decades.
For a big part of your life. So, man, it's that really is a passion of mine. I feel like I came into this country and with big hopes, and now I'm contributing a little bit to the country, and it's exciting.
It is. It is very cool, and that's why our videos and everything else that we're doing, we're just trying to get that information out there. Your YouTube channel, my video library,
and that's where we just invite people to ask.
Right.
I mean, things like this platform, we just want to start the conversation. Go with whoever you want to be. Make the mistake and go with another lender. But we really want to start the conversation.
Yeah.
And be able to solve all these questions that people have and that people just don't talk about. And that's the other thing. People don't talk about money. People don't talk about finances. People get offended about this.
Yeah.
But it's because of the ignorance, right? People get scared of things they don't know about.
Yeah, and there's just, I don't know, man. Yes, we live in the information age, and yes, you could go out and Google all this crap, but you really need an advisor to really help put all the pieces together and build that puzzle, man. It's like, you get a 5,000 piece jigsaw puzzle with no picture of what it's going to look like.
Right.
Can you put the puzzle together? Yeah, but how much freaking harder is it than it would be if you just had the picture? And that's, like, we provide the picture.
Right.
They got to do the work and make the decisions and blah, blah, blah. But we could say, hey, this is what it should look like when it's done. This is how the pieces should fit together. And the other challenge with that is there's no answer for that. There's countless answers for that because everybody's situation is different.
There's different paths.
it does today. There are technologies that are coming out. There are shifts in buyer mindsets coming out. There's a lawsuit now against NAR that's challenging the commission structure. The way consumers view the real estate buying process and the real estate selling process has just changed. And
what we were talking about when we started to think about this is there's and to do all of that remotely.
right, and like a lot of people don't.
Before the MLS had a lock on that.
Right, and a lot of people don't realize why that changed, and even me. I mean, I'll admit, I used to think, man, somebody got awfully rich one day when that got worked out, where all of a sudden the MLS was fed to sites like Zillow and Trulia and whatnot. And the truth is there was actually a lawsuit.
Yeah.
They had sued. It was something to do with the anti-monopoly laws, and there was a lawsuit where the real estate industry